Adam, talking about games that are coming up in the future, I thought we could maybe talk about some other games that are going to be coming around. As you know, E3 is less than 12 days away now. It starts on the 13th, I believe.
It might be earlier,
12th.
but that I can't
Yeah,
I can't tell if it's actual shows or like pre
we're two
stuff.
weeks. We're 2 weeks away. So I thought, typically podcasts at this time of year would be going around doing prediction episodes, and we could certainly do that as well. But let's be honest, we're two guys that just play video games. We're not in the industry. We're not connected. We have no insight to what's going on. So I thought,
Can I
oh,
make
oh,
one
I'm
quick
sorry.
prediction just before?
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a really hot take prediction. There's gonna be games at E3.
man, you're you're a betting man. I bet.
I'll put
So
money on that.
yeah, yeah. You feel confident
I'll
about
put
that
some gill down on that.
one? I think you're going to be right on that one. But I thought what we could do is we could kind of go through some of the rumors that are floating around about E3, and you and I could kind of chat about whether these are true or not. So I don't know if you want to do it black and white, like whether we think just keep it as a yes or no if it's going to happen, or if we want to put it on a ranking scale,
I
like
thought you were about to start by
yes.
saying there was gonna be a black and white 3. I'm like, damn, I didn't know. Is it Peter Molyneux was those games?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Peter
I don't
Molyneux.
think Peter Molyneux's back in the industry, is he?
Where's he been lately? He just kind of disappeared. Like,
He took his money from all the Fable fans and ran. That's what he did.
but did he ever like physically, or not physically, like, did he ever like officially announce anything, or did he just kind of disappear?
I think he just kind of vanished into obscurity. I think because once Fable just kind of faded away, like pretty much Lionhead was gone.
Yeah, I know he did that little cube game as well that kind of turned into nothing. Peter Molyneux, I'm concerned about you. If you're watching the show, can you just email us at pixelplaypodcast@gmail.com? Hold up today's newspaper and just let us know you're okay. Just want to do a public service, wellness check. Let us
At
know,
the very
please.
least, tell Gary we said hi.
Yeah. So Adam, I thought we'd just kind of go through and we can kind of talk. Do you want to leave this as like a black and white sort of yes or no, or do we want to put it on a scale, like definitely, maybe, definitely not kind of thing? I feel
Uh,
like the yes or no might be better.
I'm gonna go in the like unsure, like definitely and not,
Okay.
because like the unsure is like I don't want to spend like 20 minutes sitting there being like, oh, I'm gonna try to big brain this. I don't want to do that.
All right. I'm going to keep it a little bit more black and white and do yes or no. So let's just get started. No particular order, no particular source. These are just rumors that, I quickly just found, scouring the websites. So let's get into it. First big one. Rockstar finally reveals GTA 6. Yay or nay?
I don't think there is a god's chance in hell we might even see it in this decade at the rate we're going. We're going to be talking about PlayStation 6 getting the GTA 5 port along, but joking aside, I still think we're nowhere close. Every time, like, I've been seeing rumors about them announcing this game for like 3 years now. It never happens. I'm going to play the Half-Life 3 role every single time I get asked this from now on until we actually see some very, like, verifiable evidence, because I keep getting burned on it because I keep thinking it might happen and it doesn't. So I'm gonna start using reverse psychology. I'm gonna say way no because maybe this will finally be the year it happens. I'm
See,
doing this for you guys, okay?
I think we're poised to have it. Like, I think it makes sense to have it revealed. But
I
my
think
question
in
is, where would
Rockstar's defense, it might even be better to wait a little bit longer once everybody's firing again, so that they can see like what the standard is on the new console, so they can be like, all right, let's in typical GTA fashion, let's just wash our hands and just smack them.
yeah, I
They
don't know.
they might hold it back just to see where everybody's at.
See, I feel like, yeah, it makes sense.
Because they don't
I'd say
have to
probably
do
no.
anything. They honestly could just release new content for another decade, and they'll still make more than enough money than they'd ever need to make another game.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I don't think this is happening either. I think GTA 6 is just, you could literally announce it on a Sunday at 2 a.m. and people will just flip out. Like, it doesn't need a show, it doesn't need an audience. The audience will find them when they
They'll
announce it.
literally
So,
just pull up a like 2 hour trailer going over everything, and it'll just be on the most obscure thing. It won't even be on YouTube. It'll be on Vimeo just cause.
yeah, they'll just like hire it out to like whatever sort of streaming platform and they'll just make money.
They probably would have
I'm
streamed
trying
it
to
on
remember.
Mixer, but rip Mixer.
Where do you remember where was GTA 5 announced?
I could not tell you. That's how long it's been.
I'm gonna look right now.
It's been way too damn long. Let's see if
Yeah, it looks.
let's
I'm looking right now. It was on October 25th that it was revealed. So
October
yeah,
25th, 2011. That's 10 years almost. Holy shit.
yeah, and they debuted the trailer 1 week later. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's some
they,
time. That's a little bit of time.
they don't need E3.
No,
All right, next one. Saints Row makes a return. Saints Row 5, Adam. Is this happening or not?
I mean, it's happening. It's just the question of will it show up? And my answer is mostly yay. Like I'm it depends on who's getting like cuz we don't know if they're maybe signed off to be more exclusive to somebody first right away. So for all we know, Sony might have a bit of a stake in it and we don't see it for a little bit longer until they do it. Or it could show up just randomly at maybe Summer Game Fest or something cuz I don't know who they'd be attached to. Would the only place they could show up really would be Xbox.
Yeah, well,
So
I
they
know
only have
Deep
one
Silver.
shot at coming out.
I know Deep Silver, the publisher or the developer, is like I know Deep Silver is a participant or a partner with E3, but I don't think it has a presence on stage. And unless it's going with Microsoft, I don't think it's there. Where I could see this happening is I can see something like this being through Summer Game Fest as opposed to
That's where my
E3.
brain's going to, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think we're going to see it on E3, but Summer Game Fest we will.
I mean, during the
Uh,
festivities, yeah, good chance we do.
yeah.
They
You
need
know what? That might
something
be
because people are so like annoyed that they stopped making Saints Row to make what was that for Agents of something?
Agents of Mayhem?
I think that was it, and it
Yeah.
just bombed so bad.
And they haven't done anything since. So, you know what? It could come out because
I
it'd be
mean,
a
they
good
did the
opportunity for.
remaster, but they didn't even do it. They pawned it off to somebody else, and they did a fantastic job with it.
When did the remaster come out?
I think last
It was
year, maybe the year before. I
okay.
can't remember.
Yeah, so it's due for it to have a new edition.
It'd be a good time.
Big one for Nintendo. Nintendo Switch Pro official reveal.
That's the tough one. I figure no, because I feel like they want to devote their own thing, but Nintendo is weird in how they structure their announcements, so I wouldn't be shocked if it was.
See, I think that they are. I think Nintendo will kind of do like a one last thing, kind of like one last thing moment, and they'll, show a handheld version of it or something like that. They'll just be like, oh, like one more thing, like it's real, and they'll hold it up, and then that'll be it. Like they're not going to go too deep into it, but they'll just kind of like show that it exists, kind of, confirm that, it's being developed, and then they'll do like a deeper dive, a month or two later.
I don't think it would be the one more thing if they showed it, but they would definitely like either kick it off with that or be like something pretty quick so they could spend like 20 minutes in the middle going off about it and then like go back onto fun
Oh
stuff.
no, I think it'll be the. Think of how cool that would be. Like you're having the
I don't think
presentation,
it's
like,
cool enough that it's a one more thing though, because it's already existing. It's just a better version. I don't think
mm.
that's a one more thing. Like one more thing is Metroid Prime 4 finally existing.
We should actually keep track of these. So we'll come back and keep track of these. We should see how this works
Hey,
out.
you can
But
rewatch the video and note it all down.
I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes. It's gonna happen. Uh, Keeping with the Nintendo, Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay trailer.
I am also torn on that. I'm just going to say no only because the first time they showed anything at Breath of the Wild, it was not gameplay. So I think they might just because they haven't even shown us any indication that it's even Breath of the Wild 2. So I would be more in the lines of believing that they'll just show us a cinematic trailer and not any gameplay. I don't even think they'd need to show gameplay, honestly.
I'm gonna say it is gonna be there. I think this will be like their big flagship tentpole game that they're doing. And because if I recall, I think they did actually do a cinematic trailer at one point already. Wasn't there one where like Zelda and Link were in some sort of dark cave or something like that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, there's like a dark Ganon."
Maybe. I don't remember.
I don't know. It's been so long since we've had.
Now that you say it, it sounds familiar, and just my brain is like just coming up with anything else but what that one thing was.
See, it's been so long, and like I have a feeling it's going to come out this year. That Breath of the Wild is going to come out this year.
You think they chalk us like? Well, you know what? It would definitely be a big bombshell to throw on.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, what else does Nintendo have coming right now?
That's normal for Nintendo, honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't have anything big coming up. It's been what, 5 years since Breath
What are
of
you
the
talking about?
Wild?
Nothing big's coming out. There's like 7 more Fire Emblem characters coming in Smash soon.
I said something big. But anyways, it's been like three to 5 years since like Zelda came out, so like they need another one, and I think we're poised to have it released. And at this point, they should have something done, so they can
Well,
definitely
wait,
do like
wouldn't they
gameplay.
also have Skyward Sword to possibly come out too?
Yeah, they do have Skyward Sword coming out as
So
well.
that might be kind of something they focus on too.
But the other thing with
That's
Breath of
why
the
I'm just
Wild,
like, when you say Breath of the Wild 2 being this year, I'm like, I
but I think
don't
Skyward
know.
Sword is like July, is it not? I thought like
I don't know. Let's see.
the other reason why I'm thinking that we need to see Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay is that Zelda's in a weird position in that what does that game look like? Is it the same gameplay as Breath of the Wild but just in a new area? Is it, new combat style? Like it's a weird game to have a sequel over.
It's also like, even the thought of how big that map is, like, would you really want to make an entire new map again? Because it makes no sense, because it's literally all the same areas. So unless you're going to
Mhm.
a completely different part of the world, which doesn't make sense because it always takes place in Hyrule, you'd have to reuse the map, right?
But the key point of that game was to explore the map, and we've already explored it, so that mystery's gone. So unless like
That's the weird kind of box you put yourself in, isn't it?
so there's a lot of questions then that I feel like need to be answered that would be answered
Solution:
with a gameplay trailer.
Dark World.
That might be what they're doing, but I feel regardless of what they're doing, we're gonna have to see it to answer a lot of our questions that we have about Breath of the Wild. So
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
gonna say yeah, we're gonna see it. I'm gonna throw these two together and we can kind of talk about them in generalities. Metroid Prime 4 makes an appearance at E3 and a 2D Metroid reveal and release date. The 2D Metroid reveal and release date is coming as a result of that rumors coming from set leaks that occurred earlier, and it suggests that it's going to be coming out in 2022. Adam, are we seeing Metroid at this Nintendo conference?
Yes, but it won't be
What are we
Prime
seeing?
4.
You don't think so?
I think Prime 4 is becoming Nintendo's Half-Life 3. I swear to God, how many years have we seen, like, the words put in there? I think the most we've ever seen was a picture of a logo, and that was probably 3 years ago. I don't
Yeah,
know
I know
what's
it's been.
going on, but it's very strange how we've gone this long with a game that clearly everybody wants,
Mhm.
clearly a game that Nintendo seemed to want to make, and it just has been very quietly not shown anywhere. Seems like it's been
Well,
scrubbed.
see, I know that last that we heard is that the development was restarted in 2019. So it's been about 2 years since that's happened. So at this point, there should be some sort of assets to show. And if there was
Perhaps.
potential, they would keep. They wouldn't. If there wasn't potential, they wouldn't keep developing and stuff. And so the fact that they restarted it, in 2019, it's about baked, and so it's about time to put it out and let people see it. So I think we're going to see Metroid Prime 4. And if we see a Metroid Prime 4, then we'll see a 2D Metroid. I don't think they're going to show a 2D Metroid if there's no word on Metroid 4. I think the the blowback from fans would be outrageous if they're like, like, no, we want Metroid 4 and you're giving us a 2D Metroid. Like,
I don't know if that 2D Metroid was a remake of like a Switch remake of Super Metroid, I think people would be okay with it.
maybe.
It really depends on what, like, if it's a remake of either the original or Super Metroid, I think people would be like, all right, fine,
Yeah,
we'll deal with that for now.
maybe.
I'm also
Maybe.
just in the case too that, like, I feel like so much has been screwed up because of COVID that I'm not sure if Metroid Prime 4 is that kind of game that somehow COVID managed to get them to get all together and finally get that thing going. I'm still in the mind of, like, a lot of major things is still a year away from getting shown off.
Yeah, I could see. You make a good point there. It'll be interesting to see what this E3 looks like
I mean,
as a result of
it'd be
COVID.
great to have a lot of, like, this would be the year to have a lot of big reveals because people are just starting to get out. Like, a lot of places in the States are finally going to get rid of masks soon.
Hmm.
So, like, people are ready. This would be a great way to really, like, celebrate it by being like, all right, here's all the games that you normally, would never get to go line up at the store at or go do all this, but this is what you're going to look forward to at your first post, like, pandemic lockdown
Now
shopping
go back and
spree
sit and play these
Christmas.
games.
Yeah.
Now go back and sit and play these games.
No. You can put you got a Switch. You can play outside.
It's true. Uh, go switch over to Ubisoft. Rainbow Six Quarantine gets reintroduced with a with a new name.
I mean, I don't care because I mean, I don't know if that kind of game is gonna really work well because Siege has taken up so much of that market now. I almost feel like it'd be weird to bring that game in now. But
Honestly,
that being said, could it? That's probably one of those ones that, like, if it happens, I wouldn't be shocked because it would be an under the radar thing. I'm just trying to think of where it would be. I guess Xbox for that. Oh wait, sorry, Ubisoft. I'm
Ubisoft
dumb.
has their own conference. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I don't. Does this game get renamed? 100%. They're not calling this game Quarantine.
I don't
Is it
know.
gonna?
I don't know. Division. Actually, no. That might cross over with Division. It might not be because of COVID. It might be because it's technically taking out Division stuff.
Yeah. For me, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with this game because like this is the second time that Rainbow Six has had a game get renamed or rebuilt. Because I don't know if you remember, but oh god, like years ago there was that. Honestly, like
Wasn't
Rainbow
there
Six
a
has an
Rainbow
interesting
Six 4 before Siege was a
Rainbow
thing?
Six. Yeah, Rainbow Six Patriots
Oh,
was one
that's
of the ones.
right.
Yeah, and remember that one was built around the whole Occupy Wall Street movement. So Rainbow Six is not doing very well in terms of like getting the whole. They're a little too close to the nose, and
It's
so
weird
I
that
think
apart from Siege, Rainbow Six just seems to be in this thing of like it's either really getting a little bit too close to reality or it's just absolutely over the top like pay to win like the last Ghost Recon games have been recently.
yeah. So I don't think this game is going to appear, or at least it's not going to appear as we currently saw it. Like it's
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
this
don't
one's
worry,
a,
you're not going to get Splinter Cell again because all Ubisoft
no.
wants to do is put Sam Fisher in some friggin' mobile game that you're not going to play.
I was gonna ask you this. Do you think we're gonna see Sam Fisher and Splinter Cell at Ubisoft?
No.
No, I think
I'm
we are.
I'm
I think this is the
convinced
year.
that Ubisoft does not give a shit that people want a Splinter Cell because people have been
No,
asking for Splinter Cell as long as they've been asking Ubisoft for Beyond Good and Evil 2, and we all see that's not happening either. So
no, I think this year we're gonna get a Splinter Cell game. I can feel it. I
I
think
I'm sorry to kind of defeat you on this and being like, look, I know you're trying to get some hope in there, but no, I don't think
no,
Ubisoft cares enough.
I think it's gonna happen, and like because they're still using, like they're still bringing him and putting him in as like DLC for other games, and like they're still using him for promotional material. So like,
It's
if you look,
they're more interested in milking them though. That's all.
but they wouldn't do that if they weren't to like make more money off of
Ubisoft?
it. No, no. What I'm saying is, like, if they're gonna milk him, they're gonna milk him and make a game out of it. So I think we're gonna say it. Like, I'm putting my bet. You know, what? I will bet you that Splinter Cell is gonna be at Ubisoft.
Okay.
Let's do it. All right. Square Enix Final Fantasy new game. Are we gonna
I
get a new announcement for a new Final Fantasy game?
I'm going to say no, unless because I don't know if Square Enix has a conference, then yes. But if Square Enix
Square
isn't
Enix
doing like
does
a
have a
form,
conference.
okay, so then yes. And I'm gonna hate
I think
it.
Square. Yeah.
I'm gonna hate it because I know exactly what it's going to be. Because the rumor is that they're working with Team Ninja on a more action-based game. To which I go, thanks Square. I know that you guys love me.
I'm gonna check. I think Square Enix has an E3 conference.
If they do, they 100% will because they need to torture me more by having now a 20-year gap between their last turn-based game and the previous one.
Yeah. E3. They've confirmed that they'll be there. Square Enix will be there.
Yep, so it's going to be there. Yeah, they need to hurt me more. I understand.
See, so my thing is, I'm gonna say no, and I'm deferring to you. So you're probably right, and I'm probably wrong, just because I don't follow Final Fantasy or Square Enix at all. So I don't really know there. But my understanding is that with Final Fantasy 16, wouldn't their focus and their priorities be on that? Because it's not released yet. I don't think we have a release date yet.
No, they're still working on that.
So I don't know if they would announce, "Hey, here's another game coming out before this one even does." Like I feel like
Well,
that
it's not
might
going to be
kind of
numbered, so I think they could be okay with it. Not to mention, they are still working on 7 Remake Part 2, so I mean, they're definitely doing a bunch of projects. Not to mention, the rumor in question that I think you're talking about is a whole other studio doing it, so
okay.
I don't think it would take much out of them either.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, like I don't know, but I would imagine that from a business standpoint, you may not want to have like two different Final Fantasies coming up.
Well,
By the way, this Final
it may
Fantasy
have.
looks so cool.
I'm still worried about it though, just because like I've said it on so many other occasions. I just don't like that the game is gone away from what its roots were. And this isn't me being like nostalgia horror kind of thing. It's just literally Final Fantasy was always known as a turn-based game, and they're trying to turn it into an action game. They're trying to basically turn it into Kingdom Hearts. If you want to work on Kingdom Hearts Square, just keep doing Kingdom Hearts games. It's just I feel like the numbered games. I honestly, if Final Fantasy 16, the action game, was just another Final Fantasy game, it was just like Final Fantasy Crystal, and like it's its own thing. Cool. But the numbered games have been like everybody looks at 7, 6, 10, like 9, like all these games, and what all do they have in common? They're all old school turn based, like Dragon Quest is. So I think it just puts people off a lot. And not to mention the history of their not turn based games has not been that great, because 12 is fine. 13 is either you love it or you despise it, and more people seem to be in the despise camp. And then 15 was a broken game at launch because they rushed it out the door really quick, so like half of the game's story made no sense. So people don't have a fond opinion of that game either. So if we're taking the MMOs out, anything post like 10 doesn't get a lot of like positive favor with old school Final Fantasy fans. And Square's really playing with fire, because I've said it myself. I don't care that it's more mature and there's blood like we just see here on the screen for those watching the video version. I don't care if it's more mature rated. It's still not the kind of game that we have been shown to be the best of the best in a long time, and that's just what worries me. And when the rumor, like I said, about a Team Ninja action-based, like Ninja Gaiden almost level game, or like Neo, that worries me, because again, it's just straying away and just using the license to go like take stabs at stuff you've never tried before, which I don't think you use with something with this pedigree.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've got nothing to add on top of that. You kind of like you're the Final Fantasy expert.
I don't have enough figurines and games on my little shelf there to prove that I'm a Final Fantasy fan. Although you can't really see them because of distance.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm gonna skip a couple of these smaller ones. Big one that's coming out that we're going to see Starfield, gameplay reveal, or at least a trailer.
They
Starfield.
better.
And a 2022 release date. What do you think on that one?
I mean, it's a thumbs up, not because I think it'll be there, but because if it isn't, people are going to be pissed.
Yeah, like I think it's definitely going to be there, and it's simply just because.
Yeah, imagine Bethesda's first conference with Xbox, and the one thing everybody expects will be there is not. Imagine that.
Yeah, now, the only thing I can see as an alternative is...
I mean, it's not going to be Elder Scrolls 6. We can say that much for sure. They might show another teaser of it, but it's not going to be showing much important.
Yeah, I feel like Xbox is going to need to say here to justify why they bought Bethesda. And so, yeah, it's either going to be a Fallout game, but it's more likely going to be Starfield. Do you think that 2022 timeline is going to fit?
I think because of what I said earlier with COVID just screwing so many dates up, is I kind of feel like it's going to be pushed back. Because we've heard so little about it, it would really surprise me if it's actually coming out in like 6 months, or less than 6 months, I guess.
I think it would. I mean, if you think about Bethesda's big gameplays, like they did that with Fallout 76 and they did that with Fallout 4, where it was, hey, this is the trailer, and by the way, it's going to be out in September, October. And so I think that's how Bethesda operates. And you have to remember that we didn't have an E3 last year, so the last time, like Starfield was officially revealed to us in 2019, so it's been another 2 years since we've got a release. And so
but everybody kind of did their own video package anyway, and nothing was shown really then. So
yeah, I don't know. I think 2022 does make sense in terms of release date.
I do agree with that. It's just they could really Xbox could have a massive favor with fans if Starfield is announced for this year.
Yeah,
assuming it doesn't get delayed like everything. But if it's fine, people will be pretty happy about that. That'll be a nice thing to go out. Assuming Starfield is actually, because I still don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So if it ends up being something cool, then I'm down.
Yeah.
I can't play it, but maybe I'm down. Actually, that's a lie. I could probably play it on PC, but.
Do you think we're going to see Fable at the E3 conference? At the Xbox conference?
In general, I would imagine so. It's just a matter of what. Because the last thing we got was literally a 15-second teaser trailer. We might get a little bit more, but I don't think we're getting gameplay still.
I think this is
Because
the year.
I'm not even convinced that this game is even in development still. I think they might still even be in planning stages.
No, I think they're much further ahead than you think, and I think we will see. I think Microsoft is ready to come out, both guns like blazing kind of thing. Um, and so I think you're going to see a lot of gameplay. I think you're going to see a lot of new games coming out. Like they've been putting a lot of effort into having a lineup to show, and I think this is their year to do it.
I mean, I hope
I
they
feel like
do.
they've got the momentum.
I hope they
So
do.
I think we will see Fable this year. There's obviously the rumor about like, oh, like was Halo Infinite going to be there? Like, of course Halo Infinite's going to be there. It's Halo. It's 2 years behind. Of course it's going to be there. So, uh, the last one staying with Xbox and Bethesda. Wolfenstein 3. Are we going to see a Wolfenstein 3?
I mean, like I said with Starfield, they almost better because people hated the last game so much that I
Mm-hmm.
think they need to show people that something can be fun again. And it doesn't involve, not because it's two women, but two women screaming, "Heck yeah, dude!" over and
Yeah.
over again. I think we're good if we just go back to shooting Nazis and shooting robot Nazis. Okay, I think we're fine with that. I think we'll be okay with that. Throw some heavy metal music on and let's just go. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get Wolfenstein 3 yet. I think we're going to be getting it, but I think Bethesda's going to have enough to show with some of their other games that are coming out. Starfield. There's that rumor of like that Arcane studio coming out. It'll be interesting to see if Deathloop
Well,
is
isn't
on there
Arcane? I was
because
gonna say, isn't Arcane Deathloop?
Arcane. So there's two Arcanes. There's Arcane Leon, which is their French studio, and then there's Arcane. I think it's Arcane Texas, Austin, Arcane Austin, and they're the ones that do Dishonored and Prey. And then there's Arcane Leon, which is doing Deathloop.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah,
So
you could make a case that there's something going on with that side as well, but
I feel like
I think Wolfenstein would be one of those things like you just kind of throw in for like a 2 or 3 minute trailer, just kind of in between as like a filler.
yeah,
Because I mean,
I just
Wolfenstein isn't a massive title; it's more just like the one that like a few people are really into, right?
it's I would say it's one of Bethesda's like B tier stuff. I'd put it up there with like Dishonored. I'd put it up there with like even Doom to a certain extent. Like it's not their AAA big titles, but like it's got a decent and strong following of the people who like it, love it, and they'll swear by it. And so I think, they have a team there, but it's not going to be, oh my God, Wolfenstein 3 is coming out. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to come out yet. I think they're going to have enough on their plate to show, and I don't think it's necessarily going to be Wolfenstein. So, last one, we have one more here for Nintendo. New Donkey Kong.
It's been so quiet. I feel like there has to be something. I
Yeah.
can't even remember what the last thing was.
So the last one for at least in the Nintendo Switch was the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze,
Yeah, it
which,
was just the
if I
port.
understand, is like, but it's I think it's like doing really well. It's like one of the best selling
Sure, but it's
Switch
a
games, I
port.
think.
So I mean, like in
Yeah,
terms of something new, it's been a while, so it would make sense.
yeah, I think so as well.
There's also
I
been
think
rumors
that
that they might go the Donkey Kong 64 route and try something different again with it, which I'd be open to. Because Donkey Kong 64 was actually really fun. It's just,
I think you remember that more with rose-colored glasses. I don't think it's actually as good as you remember
I mean,
it.
it's no Quest 64. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I think they will do a new Donkey Kong game, but I think they'll stay with that 2D system. I mean, I think Tropical Freeze proved that, it can be successful and it can do well.
You only
And
wonder though
so,
that because of how well Breath of the Wild did, that they maybe get a little greedy and see if they can do it somewhere else too, and see what happens.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like if they
It would
do
be
that, they have.
Metroid would be the smarter option, but Prime 4 doesn't exist, so I can't say it's that.
I think the problem though is that if they do that, then they start falling into a trap of all the like they basically fall into the Sony thing where everything becomes a third party action adventure game, and so everything just becomes an open world
If they
exploration
make them
game.
as good as what people like them, who cares?
Fair enough. I
As
don't know.
long as
I
you're
think Donkey
complimenting
Kong
it,
is
I think it's fine.
I think Donkey Kong, yay. I think it's going to be a 2D traditional, Super Nintendo Donkey Kong Country experience. Awesome. So yeah, I think we covered most of the major rumors circulating around E3. So hopefully we got a couple of them right. I'm excited about some of them that are listed here.